atrapado en un sueño muy raro, ando volando.
Hey all, today we have a story on COVID risk and also what's the deal with legal stuff going on in New York. We'll start with the New York one. So as everyone, or as most people know in America, Governor Cuomo has had to resign because of all of this like slimy stuff he's done in the past, and he's really kind of worried about his political future, but whatever, that's over now. It seems like it's not going anywhere. What that means is that there's a new lieutenant governor who is jumping up to his governor spot, and that's all fine and dandy. We don't really know much about her, but what most of the eyes are on is what's she going to do with the process of legalizing marijuana in the state, because that is one of the bigger states that had legalized and has been really kind of slow on the trigger recently with the way it's been going through the process. Mainly, and this is crazy that this hasn't happened so far, but there's yet to be anyone named to the Cannabis Control Board or the Office of Cannabis Management. So those two things are just kind of sitting there, and basically what that means is that nothing has started yet because they haven't been able to start the process. And the early estimates when the bill was finally signed into law was that next year around January things would you'd start to see some kind of marketplace open up. But now the fact that we don't even have a board or we don't even have an office set up, it's looking like that's going to be a much longer process. She basically gets into office next week, so hopefully we see her pick this process up right away from the very start. And one of the bigger things that we're kind of curious about is the 50% of cannabis licenses going to either people of color or women-owned businesses in the state. And that's a steep hill to climb. So it will be something that we're curious to see if she can keep that promise or not. We were curious with Cuomo. We're now curious with Kathy Hochul. Is that how you pronounce it? Hochul? Kathy Hochul? Anyway, we'll see how she deals with all of this. When it comes to her own beliefs in cannabis, it's hard to say. Her past remarks were all kind of just within the shadow of Governor Cuomo, which is what you do, like vice presidents, they kind of stick very closely to the doctrine and the principles of their president. It's the same goes for a lieutenant governor towards a governor. So it's hard to say if she's more adamant about legal marijuana or less, or exactly the same place as Cuomo, but we're hoping to see some progress happen much sooner now because Cuomo's out of office and we have a new person in there who wants to make a name for herself and is probably going to run for re-election in 2022. So we'll see. Okay, second story, and this one is a story that I want to tread lightly on because it is a study that has come out that has not been peer-reviewed, but it's showing some promising results, and what it's showing is that marijuana may reduce COVID risk, and there are specific reasons for that. So this study, they used a 3D tissue model and created 400 new strains of marijuana, basically studied how specific enzymes that are linked to COVID, how they react, and if they are able to attach to any receptors when these strains are in these 3D tissue models. I'm not a scientist, so I'm speaking out of turn, basically, because I don't know these words that I'm saying, but I encourage everyone to check out. I'll leave a link in the description. Of the 400 new strains that they created, 13 specifically that were high in CBD of them showed that they were able to reduce connection to these receptors by 73%. And to my ear, 73% is a huge amount. That's crazy. Hopefully this means something. Hopefully this goes a long way. So this was a study done at the University of Lethbridge. Of course, it will have to be peer-reviewed and will have to be replicated many times before we can actually see if anything happens here. But, if you want to take anything from this, what you can take is, your marijuana practices are not encouraging COVID. They are, if anything, getting in the way. So that's great news for us. We'll see more of this come out soon, I'm sure. Anyway, link to that study is in the description, so check that out. And we'll see about New York, and that's all we have for today. We'll be back tomorrow with some more news. See you then.
Yeah, just give me one. Holy fuck.
Hello. One mocha cookie crumble, sausage, egg, and cheese.
Hi.
Hi. One mocha cookie crumble, sausage, egg, and cheese, and then
I'm sorry. You're like hot as fuck.
Thanks. One mocha cookie crumble.